As you saw here on Newzroom Afrika Channel 405 on Friday afternoon, cholera now being found in the Vaal River. At the same time, another death from the disease in the Free State over the weekend. Activists looking at the Vaal River say the disease is being underreported in the Free State. As you know, most of the cases have come in Hammanskraal in Gauteng. Samson Mokoena is the coordinator of the Vaal Environmental Justice Alliance. Samson, good afternoon to you. You've been warning about the sewage being pumped into the Vaal River for ages, for years. I imagine it was only a matter of time before this happened, before cholera was eventually found there.
Good afternoon, Stephen, and your viewers. Yes, indeed, we've been warning around the impact of the Vaal River, that there will be a huge crisis. In fact, about 4 or 5 years ago, we called a pending genocide, because the studies have been shown through the decades now that the impact around the Vaal River system is very, very problematic, especially downstream users in towns like your Tumahole Paris, Vredefort, Klerksdorp, and further down to the Orange River system and towards Namibia, as we're exporting this cholera now to neighboring states.
Where does the cholera actually come from? Do we know how it's getting into the Vaal River at this stage?
Stephen, for years now, we've been monitoring the E. coli in the Vaal Dam system via different water catchment forums, the Respirate Water Catchment Forum, the Luitai Catchment Forum, and Bespoke. We know that the sewer systems, water treatment facilities in upper municipalities, your Mfuleni local municipality, as far as Standerton, Frankfurt, those towns, that their infrastructure has collapsed for some time now. And the Department of Water Affairs have just folded their arms and did nothing around that.
The Vaal River is a really important water source. I mean, if cholera is in the Vaal, do you think that cholera is now going to spread more quickly through the Vaal River waterway?
It is, Stephen. For some time now, if you look at the towns of Tumahole, in terms of their water drinking quality, it's been deteriorating and it's not been improving. And we've seen the current the stats that the minister have released a week ago, that municipalities are in non-compliance of their blue and green rope water status. And if you go to the website of DWS itself, it shows the maps of South Africa in terms of the non-compliance of drinking water and sewer quality within the country. So for years we've been saying to the department, you need to deal with the situation. Where there's a lack of maintenance and a lack of capacity, you need to intervene decisively. We've seen the Human Rights Commission that happened within the Mfuleni municipality. We saw the deployment of military. We have seen now the Section 63 committee that is intervening. But if you go to the ground and look at the tests and the results and the looting of money by the politicians and their friends, is that this was just a matter of time to happen. And we're expecting the numbers not to decrease soon, but to further increase as the system is currently in the winter season, and we still there's no release from the Lesotho Highlands water to flush the system. So we're expecting more numbers to increase, especially in downtown Free State and Northern Free State in particular.
It is amazing that this keeps happening. I mean, there's the amazing story of SANDF soldiers who had to dig a sewage pumping station literally out of sewage because of what had happened in the Mfuleni municipality. It's been going on for a long time. You have, as you say, been warning about this for so many years. I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for you to have been ignored for so many years. I mean, and now, you know, there's a risk that more people will die.
Yes, Stephen. When you look at in terms of the system, how it works, the Vaal system is an integrated system. So once you pass the Vaal River, the Vaal Dam, further down the stream, it's where you find lots of E. coli that is in billions, coliforms and other water-related chemicals. Then we have industrial activities, we have mining activities, further being pumped into the system. And at this time of the year, we know that we're in the winter season. We know that the system is heavily by now polluted by different sewer operations. For instance, if you go to Machabeng in municipality, it's another ticking bomb in that municipality that it's a matter of time that people will also be sick. We've been warning as South African Water Caucus for some time, for years now, and we have engaged with the Department of Water Affairs it was just a matter of time that we'll see this thing happening, but we'll see more increasing death in the coming weeks.
There's so many aspects to all of this. Actually cleaning up the Vaal River properly, how big is the job? I mean, there's a lot of work to do there, and it means that government has to draw up a plan and stick to the plan, actually implement the plan over a long period.
Yes, Stephen, that's what we've been saying, that government need to intervene. In the municipalities where there is clear no capacity for water treatment and water purification, department need to step in immediately and apply Section 63 and other related interventions. But we don't see that happening through time and time again. If you go to the catchment forums, you'll see the numbers there when presented that we are really in crisis. And this is not a new thing. We've been in crisis for some time now. It's the question of politicians in terms of how they steal the money that is meant for interventions. We know how much money that was. In fact, we are still waiting the Minister Mkunu to release the investigations and how much was stolen during the military intervention. He has not come back to us to say this is how much has been spent, this is how much was being stolen. But we know that money was stolen. But we know that the current interventions that are implemented in Foleni are not working at all, because politicians have put their own interest into the entire system to make sure that they steal as much as they can. Go to municipalities like Moate, in Tumaule Paris. You arrive there, the water is just released into the system without any proper mechanism that has been put in place. So, as we said, as Veja and South African Water Caucus, that this was just a matter of time, and we see that the politicians are trying to blame each other, from the DA to the ANC to all of them, that they are blaming each other around this. They all into this together. We need a proper interventions as soon as possible that will further stop the more death of our people.
Samson Mokoena, thank you, coordinator for the Vaal Environmental Justice Alliance. Really do appreciate the time on Newsfeed today.